Or call the province-wide hotline, 420-1111. That's 420-1111. 630 CHED presents Money Talks with Michael Campbell, brought to you by Global Wealth Builders, investment managers and consultants. Now, Money Talks on 630 CHED, Alberta's information superstation. On the Chorus Radio Network. Here again is Michael Campbell.
I'm glad you're with us. If you've just joined us, I can just tell you from my experience, the biggest question on the table today is inflation versus deflation. We're going to get to that with Greg Weldon, one of the premier analysts in North America, after the top of the hour. Mike Levy's just on deck here. But first, let me go to the phone lines here. Sean, go ahead, please.
Hey, I'm just wondering in regards to a lot of the political things you were just talking about. I just tuned in kind of at the tail end there, but I'm just wondering what your thoughts on, or what people think maybe on the common idea of a common currency. We're not built on a gold standard anymore, and it's more of a service aspect.
Well, my thing for a number of years was that the move in gold would always be currency related, which would be a reflection of our lack of confidence in government. I mean, after all, it's just paper. I mean, it's stupid paper. I mean, if you go and grab a peso and a dollar and a pound and a euro, I mean, it's a joke. And all of those are backed by the goodwill of government. But when you start printing up the amount of money that we're printing as we speak, you know, huge amounts of money, and I mean, the States is such a wonderful example, but there's so many others. I think at some point the confidence will wane in the currency itself. But also, we've made these massive promises by government. We always say governments can do all things to all people. In fact, we think it's a scandal when they suggest they can't. Well, again, and Obama's going to be a great example. Here is the sort of democratic messiah comes in, and he's just simply not going to be able to deliver on what the expectations. I'm not suggesting necessarily he promised it, but the expectations were too great. This is all, in my opinion, in this economic transition that governments can't do all things. Well, so a common currency, sorry, just one sec, sorry, Sean, but a common currency is what they did in Europe. I believe there will be one in Asia, and I think there will be one in North America. But what that will be part and parcel of is that we've lost sort of a confidence in the current currency system. So, yeah, I think that's coming, and it's coming probably 10 years, whatever the transition is.
Well, I was more referring to the way that gold is looked at now. We don't look at gold at our dollar anymore, like you were just saying, but we look at the services people provide and trading time for money.
Yeah.
Can we not come up with an idea where services of humans in general worldwide have a certain value, where that's what the dollar's based on? The physical human work, human workers at all?
I mean, first of all, can you appreciate that we can't get together with the United States on a common currency or a common agreement? To do that worldwide might be a much longer transition. And I think maybe we may be moving in that direction, but it is a long-term transition at this point. Thanks for your call. Interesting stuff, food for thought. John, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Michael, you mentioned that the federal government has increased their spending, but I'm sure this is not what they want to do. Unfortunately, they're in a tough position, because as soon as they cut back, then they're painted as ogres, and by not maintaining the status quo as a nanny state, they may lose votes because of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think Don Drummond said this past week, and I wish I had the quote in front of me. And this is a guy who has been, keep in mind, this is a guy who's been called upon by all parties across the political spectrum. But he said the trouble is all the opposition is on the left. All the opposition is for bigger government, and that's why we have